I want to talk about reality, just as a frame for you to get your head into it as you start to breathe. On the weekend, or yesterday, we had a lunch with a bunch of friends at the Perugian pub. It was nice. And one couple have a daughter, mature daughter, who's ended up with the MS journey.
Hmm.
Now, they're very medical, and I'm not biased, but I'm saying maybe a little bit, but they're very medical. So they're in the medical system and they're in the practitioner scene in that space. So they've got very set beliefs and very strong beliefs around all of that. Anyway, the daughter was very debilitated with MS and started rattling with medications and all that sort of stuff. And then she had a shift, and she's now living in India, and she's studying yoga and breath work and all that sort of stuff. And suddenly she's really well, and she's moving, and she's coming out of it. So in saying what I'm saying is not saying, oh, the cure all. I'm talking about mindset and our belief. So I just want you to check a moment that the ideas that you read are someone else's thoughts. That when you watch television, when you watch the news, when you see opinions, they're thoughts. And now they're a thought field. And there's very few things that are absolute and universal law. But there are some principles and laws that are absolute. But the rest of it is just thought, dancing, and opinion. And we know, and my point is, as we frame today up and you go into a breath, I just want you to understand that your experience you have is as a result, largely, of the thoughts you are addicted to, into, bought into, habituated into, believe. And we all know that if you spend enough time with a certain mindset or group, you will start to find yourself in training into that thought field. True, real, or imagined. It doesn't matter. And I just want you to notice that a whole lot of the experience we're having is as a result of our thought field. So just as you consider that and come into Monday and sit inside the experience of being you in relation to the circumstances you think you're experiencing as a result. So as you sit inside experience, just like I switched then from headphones, microphones, and the virtual space we're in to the experience of the voice coming through another medium, and noticing that thought is like that. And inside the experience, some of the results you're getting and the way you're thinking about it and or believing are great, and some of them are questionable, not pleasant. And is it possible, as we start this program, that reality, being subjective to those beliefs and thought fields, can be influenced and changed? Therefore, your experience, your moment, your joy and or not is largely based on your interpretation and your thought and decision about what you think is happening, as opposed to what is actually happening, which is subject to opinion. 5 people witness an incident, 5 versions. So as you look at all of that and notice your reality and notice your circumstances and notice your joy, your mood, where you are in a moment, waking up this morning, moving into now, a lot of it's largely influenced by the way you're deciding it. And knowing that is, as you decide it, look at your vision of your week coming and decide, even if the immediate circumstance might rebel, decide the experience in advance. Decide the thought fields that you would like to entrain into to cause that experience, even if you're in varying degrees of it now, depending on your recent past and where your attention is. So right now, as you bring your breath in, bring your awareness to your breath coming in and out. Watch it coming in and out with your awareness, because you can direct your awareness somehow. Like, where's your awareness coming from? That's a discussion in philosophy. But as you awareness yourself, take a look at your breath from wherever you're awarenessing from, and just breathe in and out slowly through the nose. And one of the things, using the MS story, that we know, Catherine and I were looking at each other across the table,
with quiet humility, because these are medical people, and we knew we couldn't launch into, yeah, we can tell you a lot more about that, because the space wasn't able to deal with that, is not able to deal with those perspectives. They can't handle that. So we just quietly sit back and go, isn't that great? I am so happy to hear that's happening for her. How wonderful. And they're going, yeah, it's amazing. It's really weird. Oh my God, like it's miraculous. And we're saying, yeah, isn't it? And sometimes in life, you've got to view people's opinions, positions, companies' opinions, organization opinions, culture's opinions, media's opinions, and just notice, yeah, that's cool. Isn't that awesome? Oh, yes, no, maybe. So as you move to your position, your reality, your beliefs that you know support your intention, the fluidity of intelligence and the collective unconscious, as Carl Jung talked about, and you know that you're actually causing a lot of it, apart from immutable universal laws, gravity is gravity, that your reality is subjective to where you're directing your attention. So as you look at what you want, and we start to breathe very shortly into a bigger breath, you know that somehow through that breath, you're influencing the chemistry, the biophysiology, the emotional body, your posture, your intention, your energy is all being directed according to how you're deciding reality is. And wherever that lands for you now, just allow it to be wherever it is. It's okay. I don't need you to believe in me. It's nice to be agreed with, but it's okay for you to agree with yourself more. And just make sure you're agreeing with yourself lines up with your vision and the experience you intend. So as you now, I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you're going to go into the big breath, pulling it in and letting it go. 3, 2, 1. Let's change chemistry. Remember, pulling it into the gut and then letting it go. Feeling yourself getting lightheaded, feeling the oxygen starting to fill the cells, getting into the beautiful being, the body, and enlivening it. And aligning it with intention. I choose to be happy. I choose to be alive. I choose to be present. I choose to be awake. I choose to be empathic. I choose to be inspired. I choose to be in optimism. I choose to be present. I choose to be health driven. I choose to be supportive. I choose to be flexible, but powerful and strong. If you think of an iconic metaphor, I choose to be an eagle. I choose to be a phoenix. I choose to be authority. I author my own script. I choose to be focused. In spite of my circumstances from time to time, I choose to be more powerful than what they appear as and overcome them, pick up the learnings from them and walk into them, and then hold your breath in the breath hold, in the stillness of your controlling your experience. You're controlling your physiology. You're controlling your chemistry. You're controlling your emotion. You're bringing you as a chosen way of being to now. You're choosing your outcome. Even when you wake up and go, what the fuck? I am causing my experience. I cause my response to life. Now, as we breathe, I'm going to take you into a place. Or maybe you already are in a place and we're taking you further. And imagine you're in a lift. You know the space. And as you breathe in and out in the second round or third round, noticing you're on the 21st floor, and press that color, violet, somewhere there, maybe violet, and allow yourself to descend to the 20th floor, and then the 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, 14, 13, allowing yourself to drop into a deeper place. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then find yourself with the doors opening in a space. And as you enter that space, with full awareness, just notice, perhaps you're in the fifth dimension, maybe you're in the thought field, maybe you're in pure imagination. But right now, you don't need your body to move around. You're using your imagination. And wherever that is for you, imagine it to be beautiful. What would be in place if it was beautiful? Would it be an ocean setting? Would it be a rainforest? Would it be just the most beautiful space, a room perhaps, sitting on a cliff edge, looking at the most insanely gorgeous view? Perhaps you're an eagle flying across a canyon. Perhaps you're a dolphin dancing in the waves. Perhaps you're, I don't know, a monkey sitting in a tree. Perhaps you're a lion sitting at the edge of a cave, just watching your kingdom. Perhaps you're just thought itself, dancing and experiencing and imagining. And as you be in that space, I want you to conjure up a holographic image of you in your highest form, imagining you in your most beautiful form that you've ever been, the most resonant you've ever been, the most harmonious you've ever been, the most resilient you've ever been, the most loving you've ever been, the most forgiving you've ever been, the most inspired you've ever been. And see that shimmering molecular electromagnetic field of that being in front of you, and allow it, if you were to pay attention, to look back at you and recognize you as the being that's just traveled this lifetime to the now and been through all that you've been through, good, bad, and different, impossible, possible, inspiring, devastating. And as you allow that being to look at you, receive the look of recognition, of joy, love, unconditional regard, and receive it from the loving eyes of an evolved being, you in the future. Notice how healthy that being is. Notice how radiant it is as you go into a gentle 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, heart coherent breath. Allow yourself to be recognized for your beauty, for your hard work, for what you've been through, all of the labyrinths you've been through that you got lost, all of the times from being a little being all the way through to now. Allow yourself to be recognized for what you've been through, what you overcame, what you took on as a burden, limiting beliefs, devastation, extraordinariness, joy, senses of achievement, being in relationships, crashing relationships, lost, alone, crying, laughing, immobilized with devastation, radiating with such joy you couldn't stop the incredible coursing of excitement through your being. Allow yourself to be recognized for everything you've been through, dealt with, overcome, learned. And just notice as they look at you, noticing sometimes are you carrying a little of the burden that is no longer relevant from the past? Are you carrying a little bit of burden that's still in the nervous system? Are you carrying a little unforgiveness, a little shame amongst the joy of being you, having achieved quite a journey? Because if you were to know, or if I was to remind you, that many humans don't make it to where you've made it to. They don't get there. They get lost in the labyrinth in some stolen, horrible imprisonment. They're stuck in a place. They're stuck in resentment. They're stuck in rage. They're stuck in addiction. They're stuck in self-loathing. They're stuck in shame. They're stuck in shit. And they can't get out. They're still in the labyrinth. It's okay because they're still on the journey. It's okay. But I want you just to notice how far you've come. And as you allow yourself to be recognized by this evolved being of you looking at you. Just for a moment, the part of you that can recognize the achievement of your journey, No mean feat. Hell of a thing. And as you look at that being with recognition of its involvement and where you're going, where your involvement is taking you, just notice, wow. And the only way you can do that is having gone through the labyrinths you've been through. The only way you can get to that light or that evolved you is to go through what appears to be impossible, difficult, horrible, and wonderful and joyous, and the combination of all of that. And as you look at that being, would it be okay? Would it be okay to fast track? It's up to you. And step forward now into the experience of being inside that being's perspective, inside that resonant holographic image. And step in and take your breaths in that space and allow that being to connect into the combination of you, bringing all of your learnings, bringing all of your wisdom. And as you step in, discarding the pain of the lessons, discarding the judgment of yourself, discarding the distorted views and beliefs that are no longer valid, that don't support you. Let them go as old perspectives that you tried on but outgrew. And as you gently breathe in and out in the coherent breath, just allow yourself to embody inside this evolved experience of being you, and just feel into it and breathe into it and allow the oxygen and the life force and the prana and the chi to course through into you as a being and bring it alive. Notice your endocrine system, your heart, your solar plexus, your reproductive system, your pineal gland, third eye, your crown chakra, your aliveness, and the physical form of being in absolute pristine formation. And as you look around from in there, switch on your visual cortex, both external and internal. Switch on your auditory cortex, your auditory ability to recognize sounds, both resonant and harmonious, and also distorted, fractured. Just notice the ability to recognize sound, pleasant and unpleasant, recognize things pleasant and unpleasant, and the continuum of life. And then feelings, switch on your sensitivity, your feelings, your emotions. They're all there to calibrate like the antlers of a beautiful praying mantis, being able to sense what's going on around it, that your senses are there as the same, to sense what's going on around you. And as you sense tomorrow, as you sense this week coming, just allow yourself to put your scent on the intention of your week and choose it in advance. And even though it might appear that it's happening to you because the circumstances are happening outside your cause to some degree, that your response to them is your real experience. And as you allow those senses, like the sensory mechanism of creatures and animals, that you scent and notice the scent of your olfactory system, the greatest memory system of all. And notice the taste as you imagine chocolate on a strawberry perhaps, or your favorite food, bringing your taste buds alive, your sense of smell alive, your feelings, your sense of hearing, your sense of vision, and then your extra sense, your 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th sense, your sense of right for you, wrong for you, not right now, okay then, not right at all. And just allow yourself to know that you are awareness experiencing itself. And if you were to make a sound, notice that you can take air and connect it with your voice, or your blue chakra, and make sound in the shapes of languages and letters and communicate yourself to others. Perhaps you know other languages and you can make sounds in other languages Perhaps you can sing, perhaps you can read poetry, perhaps you can speak other languages. But just notice you can take all the letters you know and bundle them in different shapes and speak sentences. And just be careful of the past sentences that are habituated and find yourself repeating stuff that actually isn't self-serving. And then let them go. Let the alphabet spin and dance all the letters. And then bring them in and then choose the thought forms. Choose the sound that you can put in spoken word and bring them together and then direct them into the form of what you intend and cause to create. As you now take a big 5 breaths and sighs. Big breaths in through the mouth. Make sound. And as you do that and follow those breaths and sighs, allow yourself to recognize your aliveness. Notice the energy coursing through that allows you to lift your body. Really heavy, by the way. Try and lift someone else's body. But you just lift it without even thinking. You lift your body all the time. Upstairs, through doors, lift arms, fingers, your head very heavy. And just notice you do it and it calls and you call on energy and power and you draw on it and you lift and move. You draw on your senses to calibrate what's going on or to increase joy of a sensory experience, listening to music or tasting something delicious, or listening to the words or oratory of another human being and being moved by their speech, by their song, by their poem, or just by their conversation, and move to massive appreciation. And know that even though we can enter conversations that are violent and angry, that we can use that capacity to bring harmony and beautiful words and mix them with intention and action and cause beautiful formation in your world, in your wealth, in your joy of moments, in your things you accumulate and enjoy. And as you now look at your week before you, choose the experience you're going to have in advance. How cool's that? You control your response to your circumstances, and sometimes you influence the circumstances through your response to them. Some circumstances you have no control over, but you control your response to them. Others you can control the circumstance and influence it. And just notice, you're the sorcerer, you're the alchemist, you're the cause, the influencer, the magician. And when you come across somebody in your journey who is difficult for you, just notice, can you influence them? You can yell back, you can attack, you can throw something, or you can be an alchemist and influence. Or you can recognize they're not able to be influenced in their stuckness, and you can leave the space or choose to go quiet. So as you notice your authority, let's run another round of breath, the big breath, and take control of that in our chemistry. 3, 2, 1. And sit in the stillness and the lightheadedness. You are not a victim. You're at cause. Now take a look at your week and choose your outcome. And if it's part of a bigger plan, choose the increment of this week and influence it. And then bring it back to the micro moment of now and influence it. And choose the microcosm of this morning and influence it. And allow yourself to smile because it affects the chemistry. Now find yourself in a lift, ascending back up to the surface of your mind, into the three-dimensional world, into the world of form. And just notice you can lift your body, which is amazingly solid and strong and heavy, but you can do it easily and move it around, far out. You can influence your sense of awareness to all your senses. You can cause, speak, respond, be aware, observe, move stuff about, physically and emotionally, and you can influence. You are a human being, extraordinarily powerful, not a victim, but an authority. Just find yourself back out of your deep state and allow yourself to enter this space gently